Now come with me, slave.
No.
Come. Come. Where you going? No, no, you can't use that. No, you can't do nothing. You can't do that. Oh, you gotta commit suicide? I'll show you how they handled slave back in the old days.
Back in the old country.
I can't shoot underwater. The slave is escaping.
You suck.
Welcome back to a brand new episode. Hey bro, could you get out of my shot please? Welcome back to a brand new episode brought to you by GamesGlitches. And in today's episode, we're going to take a look at a brand new dino that was introduced in today's patch, Castoroides, a giant ass beaver. In today's video, my new assistant, mentally deficient, obviously my assistants are either deaf, blind, and disoriented, mentally deficient, or, you know, just altogether clumsy, as you could see. Today, me and my friend will demonstrate you two new things that were introduced in the patch, how to obviously tame a beaver where you can find one, and basically how well do handcuffs work on one's friends. As usually, we're going to start out with the location of the beavers. As you can see here from the wiki page, they mostly spawn towards the southern end. As you can see here where I'm located, there are definitely plenty of beavers, though they haven't managed to build a dam, and I'm waiting for them to give a damn about the dam. Beavers are usually not aggressive unless you attack one of them. Then they definitely attack you as a group. As you could see here, my friend who messed around with them, they were aggressive towards him, but they do not care about me unless I try to attack one of them or if I try to attack their dam. Now, one of the best ways I discovered that you could tame one of these beautiful creatures is by definitely using a Quetzal and bringing it with you into your little, basically tame dungeon, if you want to call it. Otherwise, if you try to tame it here, the other beavers will prevent you from quietly kiting your beaver around. Also, once you try to trank your beaver, it will definitely try to attack you. So, prepare to, actually run around or come up with a method of how you can tame one. Beavers are actually also a great source of pelts, and you don't have to go to the northern part of the map or the frost area. You can actually kill them. Please note that they will yield differently on different modded servers. On mine, they will yield quite a lot. But just for argument's sake, as you could see, I managed to get 181 pelts from one of these poor little furry creatures. Now, we got ourselves nice little white beaver right here. We're going to see how many tranquilizer darts it's going to take to tame one. And this one is please level 20. I'm also currently in God mode, so I don't have to kite him around. But the beaver is completely legit. Come back, Mr. Beaver. And as you could see, it took about 4 shots to trank the beaver. Now, make sure you have berries on yourselves, and make sure you have the narcotics. As you could see here, the torpor drops down quite quickly. So make sure that you, keep pumping him of narcotics till his food is low enough for you to feed him. As you can see here, my mentally deficient friend here is trying to measure himself across a giant beaver. You know, he wants to see his comparison size, and obviously the beaver is by far bigger than he is. I could have told him without himself measuring. Now, while we're waiting for Tame, let's take a look at other things. For example, the engram that you get to, basically able to ride Castoroid, you will need it first to save up about 50 engram points, which is actually quite a lot. You would need to have a smithy. Now, while I'm vigorously waiting for the dino to start, the best thing that one can definitely feed to a dino would be kibble. Gallimimus egg, or of course different types of, well, berries, for example like medjool berries. And another amazing things that you could feed him would be vegetables. Those are the things that, well, our giant guinea pigs prefer. Also, while you're taming, as you would notice, they no longer assist their companion while he's unconscious. As long as, of course, you don't hit him, his friends will not care, though other dinos in the area are quite ferocious. Now, since we starved the shit out of our giant beaver, we're going to now feed it some medjool berries. I decided to give it medjool berries because they're the most common versus kibble and vegetable. So, you know, what most common would be the easiest thing to find and to feed them. As you could see right now, the food is at 900 and, well, approximately 20 out of 2400 on my level 20 beaver. Now, as you could see, after giving him a ton of berries, even though the taming efficiency is slowly going down because, you know, it's not kibble or vegetables, it's still not bad. It's going to, I have a feeling, is going to end up somewhere at 50% taming efficiency. After vigorously waiting for about 30 to 40 minutes and feeding it about 400 narcotics to keep it tranquilized, and of course feeding it a whole buttload of medjool berries. Well, not really a buttload, it consumed about 100 or so. We're about to finally tame our dino. Come on, and finally, there we go, we have tamed the dino. Now, let's take a quick look at these dinos and quickly discuss their, well, special properties and attributes. First of all, they already start with 170% movement speed, not 100. They start with quite amazing amount of health, stamina, and they can carry about 324 weight right off the bat. And as you could see at level 23, this wasn't a perfect tame. Please don't think it was, nowhere near, but it's nonetheless a decent tame. So it's level 23 with quite amazing stats. Also, please note that the wood weighs only 25% of what it would weigh on me, and stone weighs only about 50%. For example, as you could currently see, the weight on the dino is 30.9. And by moving 8 stone, the weight went from 4 down to 2. Again, I'll move it back. And as you could see, the weight has returned to 4. Now, if I take the 14 weight wood, which is 28 wood, which is 14 weight, you would instantly notice that the weight has went down to 2.8 weight from the 20. So this dino is, well, quite amazing on storing wood. But please wait, there are actually tricks that you can do on this dino because it also can gather wood for you. You could set it to gather, but there are some, well, minor complication. First of all, I'm gonna go to my smithy right now and craft myself a nice little saddle. Now, to craft a saddle, you would have to, of course, go to the smithy. It takes 290 hide, 200 fiber, 100 metal ingots, 180 thatch, and 140 cementing paste. Actually, quite expensive to craft the saddle. Now, let's see how effectively the beaver gathers wood. Once my mentally challenged friend gets out of the way, I'll be able to, well, get off, dude. Eat this tree. He definitely owned the shit out of the tree. Beavers are quite amazing. And let's take a look. Even with all that 6,000 wood that he just obtained in one shot, it's only 687 weight. So their wood carrying efficiency is quite incredible. They also seem to be quite capable berry gatherers, but that's definitely not part of their criteria as beavers. Now, of course, to have the beaver gather wood, you would need to put him on gathering. The thing with the beaver, unless they get really close to a tree, they would not, well, gather it. For example, as you could see, he gathered one tree and, well, because of the gathering rate, he has now a ton of mats on him. Once you, of course, set him to wander and let him go in nature, as you could see, he starts gathering wood right away. Hey, listen, they're beavers, they really love their wood. But they have to walk up really close to the tree, otherwise they will not actually attack it, well, or knock it down. And their inventory can't be well full, otherwise they can't really move around. So on a very high gathering rate server such as this, after a few trees their inventory will fill up. Oh yeah, make love to that foundation. Do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, metal babies. The last thing we're going to take a look at is at the amazing speed that the beavers well swim at. And they're fully capable at attacking underwater. As you could see, that fish definitely just got it. Now, let's take a look at the handcuffs that will take you to make them at the smithy. Here I have my volunteer. My handicap friend. So I'm gonna open up his inventory after I have tranked him, and I'm going to put handcuffs onto him. That is, as you could see, only when the player is unconscious can you equip the handcuffs on them. Once your friend or your enemy gains consciousness, he is definitely your bitch at that point. There is nothing he can do to, well, get out of them. While your victim is handcuffed, he cannot open up his inventory, cannot use any of his items, but please be aware they can still unlock doors. So make sure you lock the doors around them after, of course, you handcuff their ass. And don't fear to, of course, go 50 shades of gray on their ass. To be able to craft handcuffs, you would need to save up 16 engram points and of course have a smithy to craft them. To craft the handcuffs, you would need to of course go to your smithy, and as you could see here, it costs 50 metal ingots, 10 cementing paste and 5 obsidian to craft them. So it's not that expensive. But they're definitely fun combined with the grappling hook. Well, guys, thank you all for tuning in to another episode. I hope that you found this guide helpful and informative. I thank my mentally deficient friend Muckle here for helping me out with the video. And I hope that, well, in the future he will resolve his mental problems. I hear lobotomy is a hell of a thing nowadays.